Okay, everybody, how's it going? It's gonna be a chill night tonight. Hi, welcome back. We are gonna do some Elite Dangerous tonight because it's like 4 or 5 a.m. something like that. I don't know. I just woke up. Howdy, y'all. You know, it's been a day. It's been a day. Just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm at, I'm like way up here at Dryman's Point. I'm just like vaguely sauntering over to the galactic edge over there. Little space between the arms. Just go and check it out while I'm in the area. But aside from that, you know, I'm just kind of roaming around, just trying to find, you know, interesting things. Maybe go and, you know, if we happen to find a jolly green giant, and I'm not gonna say no, you know. But aside from that, it's just gonna be, you know, a relatively chill, you know, kind of almost like a Zatsudan stream. I was just feeling like streaming something tonight. I know it's really early in the morning for some of you guys, so, you know, I thought I'd wake you up, say hello, and see what's going on out there. And I just wanted to stream because I feel like it's been a long week for a lot of people, right? So yeah, you know, welcome everybody to another Elite Dangerous stream. It's like I said, it's gonna be chill. There's only so many things that I can do to make planet scanning super interesting. So yeah, we're just gonna enjoy our time together out here in the cold, harsh black of space, I guess. But aside from that, you know, I am doing a couple of things on the back end, so let me know how the audio levels are and all of that. I'm not really changing a whole lot. I'm just kind of like rearranging the filters, so it might be a little different sounding than normal. I didn't realize it, but I guess OBS does things in like order of operations as far as filters are concerned. So I'm just rearranging. You know, I'm just trying to see what little improvements I can do here and there to try and improve the sound quality and the stream in general. But aside from that, I hope everyone is having a good start to your weekend. I know it's kind of a weird time to be streaming, but yeah, I gotta work later today, so I'm going to try and get in as much as I can while I can. I am feeling quite a bit better, so thank you very much for everyone that's come in, you know, hopped in and checked in on me over the past week or so. It's been a ride, to say the least. Oh, get my coffee. That's how early it is for me. I have not even had my standard 2 cups of coffee yet. I'm still on the first one. So yeah, we're really going forward this morning. But yeah, you know, like I said, you know, thanks a ton for coming in, checking out the streams, checking in on me, making sure everything's going well. Yeah, I am feeling quite a bit better. The voice, you know, that's gonna come and go. I just gotta keep an eye on it. I'm sure it's going to be real interesting after my shift to work today, but I'll keep streaming as long as the voice holds out. But yeah, I am feeling a lot better, so thank you very much. But aside from that, you know, it's been kind of a rough day, I know, for a lot of people. You know, like many others, I was watching Fauna's graduation, and you know, it hit me a little bit harder than I thought it would. You know, really anyone from EN. I mean, a lot of us that are VTubers, that's kind of really the first big, it's like the big asteroid hitting the planet, right? That was the HoloLive EN coming out right at the time that it did. And yeah, you know, it's just, it's rough. So, you know, do what you got to do. I'm sure she'll be back in some form or another, but I know, as always, it's rough not, you know, it's rough knowing you're not going to have those collabs and those moments that we've come to enjoy with a lot of Halloween. But you know, we'll soldier on as best as possible. You know, things change. I think she had a pretty good run in terms of corpo VTuber life. So you know, we'll just have to remember the memories that she gave us and kind of go from there. But you know, at the same time, it is also kind of inspiring. You know, that's part of why I'm streaming tonight. I'm like, I don't know, things like that also get me really jazzed. It's like, well, if she can do it, you know, well, I got to do my best too. So that's why we're here. As you can see, we're doing more of the same old, but you know, that's fine. That's okay. As far as what I've been doing here in the game, at least getting you guys caught up to what's going on here. Like I said, I'm like way out in the black right now. I'm really just kind of searching for, same as everyone else, I guess, one of those jolly green giants, right? There was a new one that was found and posted on Reddit not too long ago, so I think that makes number 58. We're somewhere up there, but obviously they're still one of the rarest things you can find in the galaxy, so I'm like, you know what? This is a good time to set off. My trip to Colonia did not end up the way that I was hoping. You know, for the longest time, I've been an HMAS hunter, and I ranted about it a little bit last time about how frustrating it is that all of the quote-unquote good systems have been found, right? And I still think that is very true. I don't know, and potentially don't really think there are any more ringed neutron stars out there that are still around to be found. Maybe in some really far off corner, someone missed one somewhere. But, you know, when you're going through close to the galactic core and then kind of spiraling out from there, and you're seeing systems that have hundreds of HMAS, or seeing sectors that have hundreds of HMAS systems, and every single one of them have been discovered or scanned, like, it's not looking good. So I've kind of put that on the back burner. If I come across some that have not been found, that's great. That's cool. You know, I was lucky enough in a couple of areas to find a few that were still unscathed, but unfortunately they didn't really have anything interesting. So still looking for that ringed newt, right? But you know, it ended up being one of those things where I decided, you know what, we're just going to not worry about that as much. Let's go find some of the other weird stuff that's out there. Let's maybe try and find the smallest planet of a certain type, or the largest planet of a certain type, and so on and so forth, right? And obviously the Jolly Greens are always a really good kind of target, because it's something that you can kind of target with certain areas. Like, for the most part, they've been showing up in C and D mass systems, which is a lot. Like, that's basically every dwarf star, right? So, you know, you can kind of target it, but also not really, because it is completely random. There's no way to know whether or not you will actually find one until you actually find one. But it's one of those things where, like a lot of exploration, it's good to give yourself mini goals and then kind of look at everything that's happening along the way to those goals. I feel like that's a really good way to take exploration. It's really not for everybody. I've talked about this with quite a few in my Discord who are not really big fans of exploration. They never really got into it, and they're like, oh, I need combat. And some people just never really had the opportunity. Like, we're busy in frog space and trying to do our thing and all of that back there. So, you know, this is really, with colonization coming up, a lot of people are seeing this as a good opportunity to maybe try their hands at it and just, you know, take their time. They came back to the game for the Thargoid War. That's over. And now we're just kind of waiting for the next big patch. So what do? Well, you yeet yourself out into the black and see what's out there, right? And yeah, so for people that have never really done a whole lot of exploration, I think that's really one of the big pieces of advice that I would give, is don't necessarily like just go off into the unknown not really having a plan, but they don't have to be big plans, right? Like, I think if you go out with just like completely no plan at all, you just want to see what's out there, you're going to get burned out really, really quickly. Because I will be completely honest, most of the galaxy is very, There's not a whole lot out here. It all feels very much the same after a while. Like, after M class after M class after M class, you're like, okay, more rocky bodies, oh boy. You kind of get sick of it very quickly. So, yeah, I would say give yourself mini goals. Either it's you want to reach a certain point, like you want to go to Colonia, or you want to go to Beagle Point or Sag A or something like that. So it can be like a destination, or it can be, you know, trying to find a certain type of object. The largest body, the smallest body, a green gas giant, or you were like me and you want to try and find the biggest, baddest collection of systems you can find. You know, try and give yourself little goals, and kind of go from there. The grand majority of the really cool stuff you will probably find are going to be during those in-between trips. Like, it's going to be along those routes between those areas that you're trying to get to, right? And yeah, I think that's just a good way. Not because it's necessarily like the best way to explore, but it's mentally like the best way to stave off the space madness more than anything else. And I mean, it kind of works that way in real life, right? Like, it's good to give yourself small, obtainable goals. And do the little things that work towards those goals in the long term. And that makes it a little bit easier to get through day by day. And yeah, you know, I think that's pretty good general advice, just all the way around, right? So like, mine is pretty broad, right? Like, hey, I want to find a green gas giant. Like, that's pretty broad. You can scan a million systems in this game, because it does seem that it is about a 1 in a million chance to find a green gas giant. And yeah, you could scan every system you ever come across in your entire play span of this game and never find one. But it's something, right? And sometimes I think like the open-endedness of it might help out a little bit. It's a little less of an objective than finding a ringed pulsar. Because ringed pulsars you can target, like they only spawn in HMAS systems as far as we know. You might be able to find another ringed, like, primary sequence star. Some of those can be found in other big systems that aren't necessarily HMAS, but ringed neutrons and ringed white dwarfs, those are only certain systems. That's like a very specific kind of goal. And unfortunately, it's a kind of goal that a lot of other people have had. So it gets a little tricky. To try and find those that are still left, but I think like for what I'm doing and with how much time I've spent exploring, I kind of have a decent idea of like a little bit of how the Stellar Forge works in terms of its proc gen. You know, every proc gen you can figure out eventually, right? It has rules just like everything else made by the touch of man, right? So, you know, I have a little bit of a better idea in terms of like how to target the things that I want without necessarily being, I don't know, too specific. So it's kind of nice. So like right now, with where I'm at out here in Dryman's Point, like, there's a lot of NSPs. Like, I think I've found more NSPs in the whole hour or two that I have been out here than I have found in the entire time that I've been exploring in Elite. And just to be clear, again, like, I've got close to 7,000 first discoveries at this point. So I've been exploring for a while. I feel like I've got a good idea of some of these things in terms of where to look and how to target systems, right? But even then, I'm still finding new things. So, you know, it's fun. You never know what is going to be out here until you actually get out here. You know, once I'm done with this little expedition, I don't know what will be next. I feel like I'm kind of running out of places in the galaxy to explore. At least at least for the kind of things that I do, right? Now I could probably go to the Galactic Core and start doing something similar here, because there's just, you couldn't scan every possible undiscovered system near the Galactic Core. It's just, it is humanly impossible with the number of players in this game. So, you know, there's that. But I feel like if I went back up there, I'd get back into the old habit of you know, just black hole and HMAS hunting again. Which is, I mean, that's fine. Maybe I'll get back into it again if the mood strikes me. But I'm also trying to find, you know, I'm trying to do things that have been a little less well-traveled in the course of it. And so, yeah. Like, there are a couple places that I still need to go. I've still never been to Beagle Point. I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. And it's kind of wild that, that now that I've taken off my shipyard and outfitting, my fleet carrier can actually go all that way and back. But to be honest, as you can see, I'm not really using my fleet carrier right now. I've got it parked right at the edge of this region. But at this point, it's actually faster for me to use the Manta Ray. It is so much faster for me to use a Mandy than it is to sit there waiting for 15-minute jumps. So yeah, it's going to be a nice place to return to once I reach the edge over here. I am mainly using it as a taxi for my other ships, so that if I find anything really interesting, then I can bring them along and get some screenshots. But aside from that, like, you don't necessarily like need a fleet carrier. It's just more ease and convenience than anything else. Yeah. You know, on the return trip, I will probably be a little bit more cautious. Ooh, that one's, we're getting close to some helium rich. Helium rich, like, they're not the rarest thing out there, but they're still pretty rare. And out here, I've also seen a lot of these kind of cool looking pink gas giants. Like, they're not jolly greens, like they're not that kind of rarity, but they're out there. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, I've been using it just as kind of like a safety net as I'm traveling back and forth, just in case I feel like I find a system that's really cool but also kind of dangerous. So if I want to dump all of my data, then I can. I've mostly been saving it all, trying to make sure that I have enough to get some decent merits when I get back to the bubble, and maybe just round out the rest of my power play stuff. I don't know, we should be getting kind of close, but to be honest, I have not been scanning nearly as many planes as you think. As you can kind of see, I've really just been kind of looking and seeing, hey, are there any gas giants here? No? Okay, time to move on. I will break for, obviously, like, water worlds and Earth likes. But aside from that, I haven't really been scanning a whole lot. I think I've had like maybe 4 planets this entire trip where I've actually stopped to do some exobiology, just because they had tectonicas. But aside from that, I really haven't been doing a whole lot of the actual, you know, quote unquote money making things. So it's been a pretty chill trip. I don't know what it's going to look like money wise once I get back. It'll still be a significant amount, you know, probably around $500 million or so. But yeah. and obviously I've still got the entire return trip. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't know how many merits it's going to end up being. I really haven't been worried about exobiology all that much because the merit gain is just really not that worth it for exobio. It's still a significant amount if you're doing a lot of it because of just how fast money ramps up with scanning plants, but it's still not nearly as lucrative as just regular old FSS scanning, more than anything else from what I've noticed. Like, I think FSS scanning and just regular cartography data, you get 1 merit or something like that for every 750,000 credits that you make, which is not as much as you think, but it does add up when you're doing a big trip like this. But exobiology is like 1 merit for every 1.5 million. It's like something like double what the cartography data is. And considering how long it takes to actually land on a planet, scan things, and some of that stuff is just really not worth anything. You know, that Tusok that's only worth, you know, 1 or 2 million, like that, the time involved to the merit gain is just nowhere close to just actual cartography. I don't know why they did it that way, but yeah, it's just so much more work than going here and just scanning a planet, right? Anything good? Are these, I'm guessing this is a water-based giant. Okay, no, it's class 1. Got it. Some of these gas giants do all kind of blur together after a bit. There we go. So, yeah. And so I haven't really been focused on the money, but I do need money. I helped out a little bit with Ashling's fight in Seoul. And I also used that as a good opportunity to have other people fill up my fleet carrier with tritium. But I ended up spending a lot more money to have other people do that than I thought. So yeah, I could stand, you know, I could stand a little bit of money. It's not, like I said, something that I have been going out of my way for. But if I can find some decent stretches of landable planets that I think might have Tectonica or something, then yeah, you know, I've been taking the time to make sure that I'm at least shoring up my funds just a little bit, and just kind of doing my best in that regard. Like that's kind of what I'm doing right now, just in case. Never mind, because it's behind the sun, and I'm too lazy for that. It's too far gone. The moment is over. It had the chance. But yeah, aside from that, you know, it's just been a chill trip. Nothing super exciting so far. You know, I've gotten a couple good screens along the way out here. But nothing, like I said, nothing that I feel like is really, hey, this needs posted on Reddit worthy. It's not like the new World of Death that was just found. Which, oh yeah, by the way, they found another World of Death. So go check that out on Reddit. Congrats to that guy. That is, like, that's an all-time find. Like, that's the kind of find that they would reboot up the POI list for. Really, really impressive. It supposedly passes by closer than the actual World of Death does, but it does not go through the tails, so it is marginally safer to try and land on it. But it gets close. He posted a video of it, and it's kind of wild. But yeah, that's an SSS rank find out there in the black. So yeah, you know, it's been a good time for exploration. You know, new Jolly Green Giant just found, new World of Death. Who knows what else is out there? But yeah, I have not found anything quite like that quite yet. We're still a ways away from that, I think. I'm not quite that lucky. But yeah, I mean, that's okay though, because I've just been trying to chill. I've just been trying to relax and enjoy my time in the game, and just really just life in general. You know, with everything going on in both in real life and the VTubing sphere, just in general. Yeah, you know, I think I'm just trying to hang back a little bit and just kind of put things in perspective and try and like look at things from a certain distance, I think, and try and give myself a little bit better perspective on, you know, things that I can do and things that I want to accomplish this year. You know, like I've mentioned with some of the past streams, like I don't really do resolutions or anything like that this year. And I think a lot of it is just because some of the resolutions that I see in VTubing, like, I don't know if they're really resolutions. Like, yes, I want to reach 2,000 subs and things, you know, everybody that is still joining the channel and still having a good time and liking, subscribing, and all of that stuff. But ultimately, like, whether or not people subscribe, that's out of my hands. Like, that's not a resolution that I can personally like force into being, right? All I can do, like, for me, a resolution would be to, like, get a certain type of content done, or, you know, get a certain project finished or something like that. That to me is more of like a resolution than sub goals or anything like that, right? Do we have anything interesting down here? Like, I haven't really seen, like, I've got observatory running right now. I haven't seen it pop up with anything interesting in quite a while. So, you know, I'll just keep doing my thing, I guess. But yeah, you know, I think some perspective is good to try and get some of the things done that I do want to get done this year. You know, some of them are VTubing related, some of them are real life things that VTubing might help accomplish. And yeah, I think chilling out a little bit and trying to kind of keep things at like an arm's length distance it can help out a little bit. Yeah, and yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on that's kind of helped with that, and just kind of given me some thought. You know, in terms of real life, here I'm gonna adjust my microphone a little bit if I get a little wonky here. But yeah, you know, I think there are some things that I want to accomplish in real life this year that I think the VTubing can definitely help out. Like the big goal more than anything is get out of retail. I hate the fact that I've got to go back in later this afternoon, because I have really gotten a fair amount done while I've been hacking away. While I've been coughing up my lungs this week, I've managed to actually get a fair amount done. And yeah, so yeah, I'd like to get out of retail, and I think VTubing can be a way to do that. But obviously, you know, I've got to put in the work to make that happen. So yeah, I think things like hanging back a little bit and not trying to rush things or put so much pressure on yourself. You got to make sure that you're taking some time out every now and then, because it can kind of help you reset a little bit. It's not necessarily just like being too lazy to stream or anything like that. I think it's important to, you know, to just kind of force a perspective upon yourself, right? And sure enough, the thing is, like, I'm always working. I'm always doing things on the back burner. I don't really rest, even when I'm not streaming. I know that's the big thing on Blue Sky, is, you know, everyone's like, you know, mental health and take a rest and that kind of thing. I don't think that's possible for me to rest. I am always trying to come up with something to do for the stream and to have some fun making some new things for y'all. But I enjoy that. That to me is more restful than going in and doing a 4-hour retail shift. Especially the past couple weeks, when those 4 hours have felt like an entire day with how busy it's been and just how much BS I've had to put up with, because people have been nasty. They've been nasty. It's been so much worse after the holidays than it was beforehand. Beforehand, everyone was pretty nice and understanding, and that is out the window now. So yeah, you know, I like doing this kind of stuff. So I think the rest has been good. I think having some time away from retail has helped out a little bit this week. And yeah, so I think that's really my only goal, my only resolution is to find something else that's not that. And some of it will intersect with VTubing, and some of it might not. We'll just have to see. We'll have to try and do our best. I don't really know what I'm aiming for here. I'm just pointing myself in a direction and going and seeing how far this Mandalay can reach. I'm trying to get out near the edge of the galaxy. So yeah, Like I'm kind of at a weird point in Drymans because it's kind of near the edge of the galaxy, but it's also not. Like it's kind of near that crook of the arm, like that crook between two different arms. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I'm not finding nearly as much out here this close to the edge as I was close to the center of Drymans, but that's okay. Like you can see how much ground I've been covering in this thing. The Mandalay is so good. I love this ship so much. But yeah, it's almost reached the point during portions of this little expedition that I've almost felt that I like needed to hop into my exploration Corvette instead. And yes, I do have an exploration Corvette. Almost because the Mandalay is too good. Like I've been skipping so many planets because the jump range on this thing is so far, and I felt like at a couple points I almost needed to slow it down just a little bit and try and make sure that I'm scanning a little bit more than I have been doing. Like what I will usually do. Whoa, small objects. Okay, you guys can't see it, but yeah, my observatory core is popping up. I don't think they're going to be a galactic record. I think they're just a little bit too large for that. But hey, that's still really cool. We'll go take a look at them here in a second and see just how small we're talking here. But yeah, the Mandalay it's almost been too good. So I have not actually done it yet, but if I need to break out the exploration Corvette, I guess I can hop back over to the FC on stream and go pick that thing up. There we go. Let's get into a little bit better position here. It was saying the objects were too close, so I don't know what's up with that. Because I felt like that wasn't too close at all. There we go. All right. They're just rocky bodies. I don't think it was a galactic record. I did find one rocky object that was literally 1 kilometer too large for the galactic record for smallest. Oh, I was so close. I was so close. But that's okay. These tiny things are still kind of cool to look at. So we've got A1 and 2 and then B1. They gotta be little guys. And oh, just one biological. Yeah, so they're kind of all on their lonesome out there, huh? Which one's the smallest? I think B1 is the smallest. Yeah, let me take a look at my observatory. Yeah, 230 kilometers. Not very large at all. Let's go take a look. Was it landable? It is landable. Did I land on it? I did find a very, very small body that had a rotational period of like 4.7 hours, and that was kind of neat. Unfortunately, when you're that close to it, it doesn't really feel like it spins all that much. I was really hoping for more spin, but you know, I enjoyed my time landing on it and basically being able to see the entire horizon while sitting on the thing. Yeah, this is close. It's very close. I'm not gonna run into the star, am I? I'm not gonna be scooping on the thing, am I? Well, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, you know, it's been a lot of this kind of thing. Things that are like really, they're neat to look at if you've never done exploration. But they're also kind of like, you know, if you've been out here for as long as I have and found as many planets as I have, they're also kind of like, okay, this thing again, kind of neat. Let's make a note of it and then move on, right? I need more. I need something more. This thing is like, okay. There we go. It really is. Like this is almost just like an asteroid. That's probably what it was. It was probably like, if you're looking in stellar forge terms, this was probably an asteroid that ended up getting caught in the gravitational belt, right? There we go. And the cool thing is, I discovered the pre-engineered DSS scanner. So that's been a thing. Yeah, look at that little guy. Look at that little guy. That's cool. That's neat. And yeah, that thing, I've become unhinged since I popped that thing on. It's so good. You basically need half as many probes as you did beforehand. So yeah. I was only able to buy one though. I didn't have enough materials to buy two to fit one on my Anaconda, so I put my old 5-grade engineering one on the old Annie. But yeah, go and if you want to do exploration, go and get the pre-engineered DSSS scanner. It's not that hard to get. It just I've been very bad about my materials lately, so I didn't quite have enough to get any more than that. But yeah, you know, like I said, it's been a lot of this, but it's been kind of nice. It's been chill. You know, hop a few systems, stand up, do some stretches. Just very low pressure. I feel like when I was H-mass hunting and trying to find that ring neutron, it was just so much pressure, and I was getting so mad at everything already being found. But like, now that I'm just kind of looking for weird gas giants and stuff, all that pressure's gone. It's so much easier to find undiscovered systems when they're not, you know, the largest systems in any given sector, right? So yeah. But aside from that, in terms of just other things, you know, it's been nice just doing some chill streams too, and just not having to have like every stream. God, I've been getting a little bit better in terms of my bones not hurting, but man, I'm like so stopped up right now. So yeah, you're getting all kinds of stuff today, right? One of those streams. But yeah, it's been nice just doing a couple casual streams too, and not feeling like they all necessarily need to be an event. I still try and do my best to make sure that we're having fun here on the streams, but yeah, we need to do more things like this. Just the kind of casual guerrilla just chatting streams where we just kind of hang out. I feel like I'd like doing them quite a bit. Okay, so we got some more NSPs over here. If you've never seen an NSP, we can go give that a look here in a second. I feel like all of them in this sector have been like one specific type, one or two specific types, so they haven't been like all that different from each other, but they have been kind of cool to go look at. So if you've never seen an NSP, there's a few different types, so it's like hard to be like, hey, yeah, let's go check out this NSP, because other regions and other sectors have completely different ones. But I feel like this is a good sign for the hunt for a Jolly Green, just because supposedly, at least in a couple of other sectors, I think it's mostly like Riker's Hope and one of the outer arms. Like all of the Jolly Green Giants discovered so far have like K-type NSPs near them. So the fact that I'm finding a bunch of NSPs, they're not K-types, but so far they have been popping up quite a bit near these giants. I feel like that's a good sign. I feel like that's a good, we're on the right path, right? But obviously, again, like there's no way you can really target things otherwise, and there's really not been enough discovered in terms of Jolly Greens to like know if that's a for sure thing or not. But we'll go take a look. We'll go see what this one looks like. I always read, there is a bug with the codex entries for green gas giants that are water-based life. So I always take a look at the description. This one's just a standard description. Nothing to see here. Any of the other green gas giants, if you do happen to find one, they do have codex entries that pop up. So yeah, you can actually go into your codex and see some of the green giants that have been reported to be found, and so on and so forth. But that's why I'm kind of able to quickly go through here is you know, I scan, doesn't have a codex entry. I know I'm not looking at anything in particular that's special or anything. I have found on this trip like 1 or 2 class 5 giants. Those are kind of cool. They're ugly as sin. Class 4 and class 5s are really just, they're not pretty. but they're kind of neat. You don't see very many class 5s. They're really only in large mass sectors like E, F, G, and H, or even above. There's still no luck on helium giants. As far as I know, there's never been any other helium giants that have been found other than the 14 that we know about. So no luck there. But, you know, some other interesting things. Like I said, the pink giants are kind of cool. I had not really seen a whole lot of them until I got to Dryman's Point. And I don't know what's going on out here. Maybe it's just Dryman's has some very interesting composition when the Stellar Forge like decided which regions get what kind of composition out there. Yeah, I've seen a lot of pink ones. They don't glow like they used to. That was a bug that was fixed. You can find some old videos of the old blindingly white gas giants and the magenta giants. They fixed that bug. The green gas giants are the only one that was a bug that has not been fixed as far as anyone's aware, because they don't hurt your eyes when you immediately zone in. But yeah, I mean there's still some interesting color schemes out here that have been kind of nice to look at. But like I said, nothing like post on Reddit worthy. I might do a travel log of some of the photos that I've taken along the way. But yeah, I haven't found any systems that I really felt like I needed to like bookmark, right? There's no mustache and bow tie. That's still my favorite system I've found. And it's still hanging out up there somewhere in the Galactic Center. I might make another trip up there to go show it off at some point. But yeah, you can find it on Inara. It's just Commander Wessor. It's my name, my old VTubing name. If you want to go see my picture gallery. All right, let's see. These are probably going to be pods, I would guess. Most of the ones that I found, wow, this is like way out there. Why is this? Why did it take me so far away? Oh God, like it would almost be faster for me to go back up and then back down. I really don't like going to the ones that are in rings. They're just for this reason. They just get all kinds of messed up. Yeah, it really would be faster for me to just manually do this. There we go. Especially coming in at an angle like that. Like NSPs tend... Whoa. NSPs tend to be in the middle of the ring, so you can't really approach it from like top or bottom. There's really... They're just kind of there. Right? I am coming in way too hot. There we go. That's fine. Okay, so we got some pinochle trees. Some pinochle. I guess that's how you pronounce a pinochle, I would assume. They're just spelled funny. Yeah, it seems like this is what most of this sector has been pinochle trees. And with the trees come like pods and stuff. You'll see them. I think there's a couple sitting down there we can go take a look at. Yeah, these don't hurt. If you find if you do somehow find a green gas giant, or you go visit one of the ones that have been found, like I said, a lot of those have K-type anomalies. Those do hurt. Those, if you get close, they start draining your shield and then eventually start draining your hull. It's something like a 200-kilometer range or something like that. So you know, be careful out there. There we go. I want to make sure that I'm not bumping into anything. I'm kind of far away from my I'm kind of far away from the old oh boy, from the old fleet carrier right now. Wait, okay, I was about ready to say, like, can I attack these things? I thought I did analyze it. What's going on? Okay, there we go. All right, nice. All right, let's try and get a nice shot here. I've already found a couple. Ooh, but I really like this with the kind of in an interesting spot. Let me even it out. Make sure I'm not pointing at anything that's immediately going to like ram me. Yeah, let's get down here and into it. Right? Let's try and get a nice screenshot with my actual boosters going. We'll keep it chill. We're just gonna do just a slight boost, get a little bit of that engine trail for the screen. I think that'll be nice. Let me get a decent angle here. Here we go. All right. Go. All right, I don't want to go too fast. I need to be able to actually get my screens. There we go. I got that particle like right there in the middle of it. That's not fun. There we go. A little bit better. All right, see if I can raise this a little bit. There. Zoom in. It's a smaller field than I thought. I gotta like rearrange myself. There we go. Yeah, this is a pretty cool gas giant though. Like it's got those nice shadow effects and everything. So yeah, should make a pretty good screen. All right. Let's try this again. Yeah. Yeah, let's get one behind here. Going into the light, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? There we go. Let's get a little bit of the Dutch angle. I'm not the biggest fan of Dutch angles, but it does seem kind of cool when you got like the nice shadowy stuff. Getting a little bit of my wing clipped back there. Don't want that. All right, let's turn it around a little bit. There we go. Maybe yeah, let's head to one of the big ones. There we go. All right, I think that's enough screens. There we go. Like I said, I've gotten a couple already. I'm not super concerned with it. But where was I headed? But yeah, that's an NSP for you. They're kind of cool. Like I said, after a while, it's kind of like they're neat. They seem to be different in every region. There are a couple of NSPs that are literally only in 1 or 2 systems, period, that have been found. So, you know, I'd like to go see those at some point. That would be kind of cool. But so far here in Drymans, I have mostly found the pinochle trees. So, haven't found anything very unique aside from that. But they're still kind of cool. It's the first time I've seen any of these pinochle trees. They usually come with the little pods near them. So yeah, you know, first time it was kind of neat. I do enjoy that I am finding a ton of them out here. And I guess someone in my Discord has been out this way before too and actually bookmarked basically a whole line of NSPs going straight through the entire region. So yeah, if you want to see some, come out this way and check it out. It's only 16 hours worth of fleet carrier jumps. You know, just a small little jaunt. Nothing too spicy, right? Hey, I mean it's about the same to Colonia. It's just the opposite direction. All right. But yeah, you know, I think that does mean that I was on the right path coming out here. Like I said, I was just so frustrated of running into things that had already been found, doing the HMAS thing, and yeah, just not finding anything that was undiscovered. So I decided to just go to the deepest, darkest pits of the galaxy that I could. I got so frustrated. Only I could do that at IRL and not have to worry about my bills, right? All right. I can't even remember really where I was going with this. Now we're just vaguely heading towards the rim. Most of the rim has probably been discovered. I'm not expecting a whole lot once we actually get over there. There's just too few star systems. And, you know, as an explorer, you always want to go to like the edge of the galaxy, right? So I have a feeling like once we start getting out here where it starts getting really sparse, we're gonna have some problems finding things that haven't been found. But I just kind of want to get out here and take a look, maybe get a couple screenshots, and then kind of go from there. Just turn right back around and start heading back towards the center area. There are a lot of DSSA carriers out here. I think there's like 3 in this sector alone. At least what I saw in Ed Astro. I don't know if they're all still active. So, you know, there have been, I guess, a few expeditions out this way. There aren't that many like really big systems out here to begin with, so I'm not like it's not that big of a deal. But we might run into a few areas that have people come through them. I feel like at this point, everyone that I've seen that have previously discovered a system out this way, like they were like old discoveries. I've run into a lot of cases where they discovered the star and never looked at any of the planets, and I'm guessing a lot of that was because they were out this way before FSS was a thing, and you had to like manually go to the planets to find them, right? So yeah, I have seen a few. I have run into a couple previously discovered systems, but not as many as I thought I would, or as many carriers that are out this way. And I did see that there were a couple of other people. They're kind of on the other side of Drymans right now. But there are a couple of other people on the old Commanders map on EDSM that have been kind of hanging out over here this way. There we go. All right, I guess I really should have turned around, hit it from the other side. That's fine. Okay, but it's been a nice journey. It's been a nice little break. I'm curious if anything's gonna happen by the time that I get back. If they had any, like I know that they went on winter break at FDev, so I'm kind of curious if they're going to be continuing like the follow-up from the Thargoid War and stuff. It'd be really nice not to be that far out from the bubble if all of that stuff goes down. But it's also not like essential. Like I got the FSDs. I got pretty much everything that I needed. We're having a good time. But I am curious what's going to happen with it and what's going to lead up to colonization. I'm curious when they are actually planning on launching the beta. Like it really Oh god, here we go. Here we go. This is what happens when I test my voice. My water. But it really sounds like they're like a lot further along with it than I think the initial impressions were. So yeah, I mean, I think we are definitely going to get like a beta state. Like it's not going to be the complete colonization when it drops. I think they're going to be doing a lot of adjustments once it actually comes out. More for the servers as much as anything, because now they're going to have a whole lot of new systems that have to be calculated every tick, right? But yeah, it does sound like the actual premises of it are really kind of done. Like the fact that they've already got the big colonization ships and everything, like the assets are ready. Like that's generally a pretty good sign. So we might get it sooner than we thought. I'm guessing like March or something for the first phase of it. But who knows? I think people were kind of surprised last year at, you know, having an actual roadmap and what all they were promising. And honestly, I think it was a very, very good year for Elite players. Like they, for the most part, really kind of kept all of their promises. Like they had that big roadmap and things that they wanted to do, and you know they actually kept to it. So you know, I think it's a good time to be getting back into the game. A lot going on. But yeah, I am curious if they're going to be able to keep that up into the new year. we'll just have to wait and see. You know, that momentum can be hard to carry forward. But I feel like a lot of players have come back. I feel like a lot of players that bounced off of Odyssey, like, have seen some of the changes that kind of fixed a lot of the Odyssey stuff, and are starting to come back too. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll find out at the end of the month at the next FDev Unlocked or whatever. Hopefully I'll be back in the bubble by that time. I'm not planning on staying out here like time-wise all that long. I get a lot of exploration done in a very short time frame. So, you know, we'll have to see. I hope I'm back in the bubble by the time anything like super wacky happens. But yeah, last Wednesday of the month we'll have some more information. And who knows, maybe they'll actually drop like the release date that they're planning, or at least like a general time frame for what they want to do for colonization. I think the initial 10 light years is probably not going to stick. I think they will expand that eventually, but they want to make sure first of all that the servers are going to be able to handle all of this stuff. But also see like how active it is, whether or not players are happy with the difficulty. Like money-wise has not been... Oh wow, that's a lot of water worlds. Okay. All right, now I see what you're doing. So we got some more NSPs. See what I mean? Like they're like everywhere out here. It's kind of nice. A little different. All right, well these I gotta scan, or at least the terraformable ones. I don't know if they're all terraformable. We're gonna take a look at the old observatory and see. That is a lot of water worlds. Wow. Just call me Kevin Costner. I gotta admit, I actually like the movie Waterworld. I know it's constantly rated as like one of the worst films ever made, but like as a kid, like when that came out, like that was it was straight up my alley. All right. Wow, this is a little different. A little different. How many are any of these terraformable, or did I just get like a bunch that aren't? Okay, so we got 2 terraformables. Those are the only ones I'm really worried about. 6 and 7. Okay. And they're not too far out. Yeah, they're like all clumped up around the same, this like one area. It's a little different. Usually when I run into this kind of thing, it ends up being like 300k out, right? So you know what? I'll take it. There we go. All right, let's take a look. I'm not gonna worry about the NSPs this time. Like we've seen enough. I don't think it's gonna be significantly different than the pinochle trees. If we get close enough, if they're like on the way, I'll take a look. It is interesting that they're in a system with a bunch of water worlds, though. I haven't seen too many of those. Usually out here, they've all been in systems with gas giants for some reason. All right, so we got 6 and 7. Yeah, we might hit up one of those on the way. Just take a look, just in case. You know, fill out the old codex, make sure that it's actually getting make sure it's actually getting listed and all of that. The thing is, like, I don't think NSPs get listed on like EDSM or anything like that, though. They might be on Inara. I haven't really taken a look there. Yeah, for the most part, like, you don't really get a whole lot for finding them, despite how rare they are. There's not really like any money gain that you get from it. You get the, what, 50k or something like that for the codex discovery, and that's really about it. Yeah, look at this. Look at this pre-NG'd DSS scanner. What is this, 7? Yeah, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see if 4 can do it. I think I've had to do 5 for any of the 7 probe ones. 7 is kind of like an odd range. We'll take a look. We'll see if I can get it done. Normally, I just fire these things off and then immediately move to the next planet. Ah, yeah, so I do need 5. That's fine. That's cool. That's fair. All right. Yeah, you don't have to sit there waiting the whole time. You can they'll keep scanning even though you move on to the next planet. But hey, you know, that's some extra money. It does make it a lot faster. Like when you're going through as many systems and planets as I am, like those little bits of time add up. Sitting there waiting to make sure that that your probes work and making sure that they respawn and all of that. I haven't really had to wait for the probes to respawn all that much since getting the pre-engineered one. It's really nice. I don't know why it took me this long to figure out that was a thing. Go figure. Leave it to me to miss the small details, I guess. We'll go take a look at one of those. I am curious. I am very curious with them being in a water world. I'm guessing they're going to be more pinochle trees, but that's cool. I don't even know if that's really what they're called, but that's what I'm calling them. That's, you know, who's going to stop me? I can name anything that I want out here. This is all mine. This is my part of the galaxy. Apparently, I don't know, someone was saying you can name systems on EDSM, and like, I don't remember ever seeing anything like that. But like, that's a lot of potential that I've wasted after all this time. All right. Well, once we get to our next target system, how many jumps out am I? 3? I'm gonna take like a quick second and go get my second cup of coffee. I'm not kidding. I really did wake up, make the first little pod, and then started streaming. I don't know. I was in the mood for it this morning. I was like, you know what? We didn't get nearly as much done as I wanted this week. I miss streaming. I miss saying hello. So you know what? You're getting the early hours rambling Weston today. What happens when the man who makes the dreams has no dreams of his own? Mainly I'm just trying to stave off the cruel, harsh world that awaits me this afternoon. All right, let's go take a look. I'm just really not looking forward to it. Especially like I'm losing a couple of my managers. One of them already left, and then the other one is leaving at the end of February. And they're like, I like them, but yeah, not super jazzed with the people coming up behind them. One of them is cool. One of the new key holders is really cool. She's one of the few that actually like us playing as a team instead of doing a bunch of personal projects. Right? Like if you're in retail, I feel like that is incredibly essential. And this is really the first time that I've been at a place where there's really just no teamwork at all. Like no one is really taking the consideration of their fellow employees into it. Like we're all stuck here, guys. Like it's like help me out a little bit. But no, like in my bookstore, it just feels like everyone has their own personal tasks and personal projects, and you know they don't really help out anyone else unless specifically asked. And it's not like they complain about helping if they have to. If they have to come and back me up at the register, like they don't really complain about it. But like the moment it gets quiet again, they're gone. They disappear. Like the moment I clock in, they just decide, well, you know, cash register isn't my task anymore, so I'm just gonna ignore this spot of the store for the rest of my shift. And I'm just constantly on the radio, like, hey guys, come on now. It's not even that I necessarily even hate retail. Like I hate that specifically. Like I hate being stuck at that register, and I hate feeling like my coworkers don't care about the people that are stuck up there because they don't see it as their job, right? It just reminds me of one of my old bosses. He used to say, you know, I never want someone to come up to me and tell me that a certain part of the store is messy, because that means you saw the mess and didn't do anything about it and are now trying to pass that job off to someone else. And he said, that is the kind of thing I will fire people over, because cleaning the store is everybody's job. Everyone who works here, whether they are inventory, cash register, sales, a manager, if you are here, that is your job. So do not come to me and complain about a mess. But sure enough, at this job, like even my key holders at the end of the day will be like, well, you know, this part needs some work. This part of the store's, you know, been kind of run through the ringer. It's like, why are you telling me that? Why did you take a look at it being run through the ringer and then not go straighten it yourself? Like, why are you passing that off to someone else? I'm making myself mad just thinking about it. I'm making myself upset about my shift coming up this afternoon. It's not gonna help that I'm gonna be on like no sleep at that point. It's gonna be real VTuber hours all weekend. Thankfully, I'll be able to power through it just because this is my only shift this week, and I've only got one next week, which is really gonna suck for pay. But it does mean that I can just power through them. I can power through that thing with a white cannon monster. Just hit that up on the old way. Yeah, buddy. We're living a real healthy life, aren't we? But you know, it's good for the customers because when I'm really tired, it's kind of the same way when I'm really drunk. You would never guess, but I'm very quiet. I'm very much an introvert in real life and don't really like talking a whole lot. But when I'm drunk or really tired, I get really chatty. I get real friendly, right? Like I'm that kind of drunk, right? Like you get the huggy drunks, you get the kind of angry drunks, the touchy-feely ones. I get very chatty. As opposed to like my best friend that I talk about a lot on stream, right? He's a very huggy drunk. You know he's gone when he just stands there all of a sudden and he like looks at you, and then he's just like, Weston, man, puts his hand on my shoulder, like, I love you, buddy. I love you too, man. That's how you know when he's gone. We start getting that time of the night, right? Then I got my other buddy. He showed up on the streams before. And yeah, hi out there. I hope your shifts are going well, going well at the old mail, right? He's very social as a drunk. He'll just disappear, and you'll find him at a table like with people that you've never met before, and he's like playing some games and having a good time. He's very social. I kind of wish I was like that. I get very chatty, but that I feel like chatty and social, like, hey, talking to strangers kind of social, those are very two different things, right? But that's how he gets. I just get very chatty. I get very happy. So yeah, the customers this evening for the closing shift, they're gonna get chatty, Weston. Usually makes them happy and helps me get through the day a little bit better. I don't mind it as long as it's slow. It's really only a problem when it gets really busy, and I feel like I've been saying the same thing non-stop for hours upon hours because I can't move from my register, right? If it's slow, I don't mind. If it's kind of chill and I can actually talk to people, because that's my favorite part of the job, right? I like being able to actually be a bookseller and make recommendations and talk about, you know, what people are reading and that kind of thing. Like, I feel like it is a skill that you kind of have to learn. It's like an industry kind of thing, right? Like, you got to know what's out there. You got to know what's being published, what people are reading, what people are saying. And yeah, I like that kind of thing. But I feel like the past month or so, I really have not gotten a chance to do it. It's really not a bad job when it's reasonable. It's when I'm stuck up there by myself during a busy shift that it's bad. It's just bad. I've had work on the front page of CNN, and they got me at the cash register. Like, come on, guys. This is what I worked my life to be doing. Anyway, that's why I'm a VTuber. That's why really any of us become a VTuber, right? I've seen a lot of things on Blue Sky and the old VTuber sphere about like calling it content creation and about clout chasing and that kind of thing, right? I don't really mind those kind of things. Like, if someone is just very obviously, like, just constantly promo and like and subscribe and that kind of thing, like, I do it to a point too, obviously. Like, you got to do it a little bit if you're a streamer and trying to take it a little bit seriously. But, I mean, you know the types, right? But, like, I don't have much of an issue with that, to be honest. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to make money off of this and turn it into a career. I mean, that's the dream for everyone, right? Is to be able to be able to do this and make a living playing video games. It's kind of hard to argue with it, right? In my perspective, someone that's been, you know, poor as shit most of my life, like, people wouldn't feel the need to be clout chasing and all of that if the life situation was better. Right? Like, we're all just trying to make it as best as possible, and if we weren't being run through the ringer, then you wouldn't see it as much. You wouldn't. Man, we are out there. I'm just gonna keep going as far as I can. What's the farthest I can reach? Okay, so it looks like that one. I don't know. Yeah, I might have to get out here and then kind of go from there. Doesn't seem like there's any others out this way. I don't think I can plot any of those. Yeah. All right, so that is as far as I can get in the Mandalay until I get over here and take a look and see if maybe there's a little bit better jump off point to try and reach some of those wonky systems out there. But yeah, in terms of like people being very business-like about it and being very transparent about wanting to make money from all of this, like, I don't mind that. Like I said, I feel like if our life situation wasn't so bad and we didn't feel the need to like constantly be trying to just live, right, then I don't think you would see it as much. But that's kind of where we're at. And, you know, I try and be sympathetic about it. That doesn't necessarily mean like I'm going to be liking and following a lot of the people that are just constantly doing it. And obviously there's a lot of bots where that's kind of the thing. That's a whole thing in the VTuber sphere. They don't tell you about all the time. There's a lot of bots. But yeah, I mean, in terms of people like clout chasing or calling it content creation and trying to market and all of that, like that doesn't really bother me all that much. You got to do what you got to do, and hopefully, you know, one day, somewhere in the future, enough of us will have made it that we can lift others up behind us and kind of keep it going, because that's really entertainment in general. You all just kind of fail upwards together and just kind of ride it out as long as you can. And you know, I think VTubing is early enough that there's still a lot of potential for interesting things to happen in the future in terms of the community and everything. Like, yeah, I know it's like in indie it does get kind of annoying and a little frustrating to like see a big debut happen with like one of the big corpos or something like that, and then it turns out that they were friends with another really big corpo and that kind of thing. You know, we see it a lot with certain streamers. Like, it's a very small field. It kind of, I get it. I definitely get it, that it feels frustrating. It's like, oh, well, they were friends with someone who was already big, and that's why they got big too. And it's like, you know, yeah, I understand. Trust me, I've worked out in Hollywood long enough to very much understand that. But you know, as long as we keep doing it, eventually some of those indies that have been around for a while will become big, and hopefully lift up some of the others, and you know, it becomes a thing. But it's got to start somewhere, and I think that's just kind of where the industry is at right now. Is it's still just kind of in that infancy, right? Who knows? Maybe that'll be me. Maybe I'll be the one that can help out and finally give a ton of money to a bunch of the artists and fans and editors and stuff out there that I've always wanted to do. But you know, that'll happen when it happens. if it's not destined to happen, then I guess I'm gonna be working in retail the rest of my life. I don't know. I'm kind of resigned either way. Okay. Come on. Get out here as far as we can get. And then we can check, you know, up above and below where I'm at a little bit too. Or at the very least, just get a screenshot and start slowly meandering our way back to the FC. Not a big deal either way. We'll figure it out. Okay, there we go. What do we got? I feel like I really have not run into all that many gas giants. It's kind of a surprise. I thought I had a really good string there for a bit and just really haven't run into any. Not since the stream started. I guess it's just going to be one of those cases, huh? They come and they go. But obviously, like, I'm not really expecting to find one on stream, as cool as that would be. But obviously, you know, for something like that, the more that you find, the better the chances get, right? So it's a lot of just trying to up your chances more than anything else. But I feel like we've been hitting the right systems. C, D systems. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is just... A lot of the interesting things comes on the route between plot lines. More than trying to target specific things. It's very rare that I've ever actually gotten to my target system and it ended up being the really cool one, right? Most of the time it's just things along the way. There's just really no way to plan for it. But you gotta have a system to plot to first, so you at least have some kind of trail to follow. Right, come on. It's been happening around this time every day. I don't know if it's just Europe logging on, or if there's something going on with like the BGS and the servers, if it's running more things in the background this time of day. Yeah, this time of morning, the jump times just get really bad. And there's really been no rhyme or reason. I mean, I know the servers in general have been kind of going through it lately. But there is a pattern to all of this madness. There's definitely like specific times that I have noticed it getting really bad. And again, I don't even think it's necessarily people logging on, because it's very much like clockwork. Like right as the hour turns, it starts getting nasty. So yeah, I think it's just the servers are trying to run something in the background and trying to do more calculations and BGS stuff. It should all be near the tick, but you know, that's been getting pushed back further and further and ends up at some weird hours. But at the same time, you know, I know Europe is probably logging on for peak hours too, so I mean, that's not helping. So if you guys are out there, hello from the States, welcome. I don't know why my elite streams are so popular. I feel like I'm not really doing like cutting edge stuff here, but I hope you're having a good time exploring space with me and just kind of hanging out for a little bit. I try and do my best to give you guys a nice like welcoming presence. So I appreciate you guys that have been watching. And you know, if you don't watch me for the Elite Dangerous streams, you know, thanks a ton anyways for coming and taking a look either way. Yeah, I'm not scanning all of these. It's just too many rocky planets. I'll probably slow down and start scanning them again when I'm not on stream. And starting to slowly make my way back to the bubble. But like while I'm out here, I'm kind of on a mission. So I'm not going to worry about it as much. But yeah, it's been a good variety. You know, I'm glad that people seem to be liking a little bit of everything that we're doing here. Like, I really didn't think, like, my Infinity Nikki streams would be taken off as much as they have, but it seems like people really like those, and we'll be doing some more of that next week when we get the next half of the event. I didn't realize that, like, the actual interlude was, like, its own thing, so I ended up doing that off stream. I didn't realize what people were talking about when they were talking about the main quest, but yeah, I ended up getting that unlocked. So I have done all of that, but unfortunately I did do it off stream. It just kind of happened, right? But we still got some more event stuff, and we'll run around taking some photos and getting some interesting costumes to look at. Play some dress up. But yeah, you know, it's been a good variety, and I think people seem to be having fun with it. So I'm glad that no matter what kind of content you like, you seem like it seems like you found something here for it. It's not going to be every stream, but it seems like we've found like a nice little niche of things to do, and we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna have some fun going into the new year with new games and new stuff. I am very excited for Monster Hunter Wilds. I think that's going to be a good one. Obviously, Rebirth is going to be hitting up PC soon, and I kind of need to make sure that I get some of my other games finished before that comes out, because I would like to stream it this time. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Because yeah, I kind of regret not streaming the remake. I'd really like to stream Rebirth. So we will give that a look. I think that is kind of a must purchase for me. I don't know how it's gonna run, since I didn't stream the last one. Oh, what is that? I'm guessing class 4? Yeah. Another wide ring. Well, at least these are interesting to look at. A little better than last time. So, let's see here. I mean, this one's like out there. This one's like out there. So I feel like we owe it to the system to scan everything. Just in case, just see if there's anything interesting. If one of these are landable or something like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fast orbit, close orbit, nested moon. Okay. Yeah, if we find one that's got kind of an interesting landing, then it might be a good opportunity to get like a screenshot at the edge of the galaxy. There you go. Kind of surprised that a lot of this hasn't been discovered yet. I feel like we're out there enough that this would have been popular with the primetime explorers. Like, I feel like I've been doing a lot. I've done a lot of exploration. 7,000 first discoveries in the first year that I played. It's a lot, but it's nowhere close to some of the big exploration teams out there. Some of those guys have like a 42,000. I think the top in EDSM is something like 200,000 first discovereds. But that's you know, obviously that's a lot of players that were playing right as the game came out and everything was new. There's still a lot out there for sure, but I feel like it was probably a lot easier to get first discoveries when most of the bubble was still a first discovery, right? All right, let's take a look here. Anything interesting? We got that fast orbit. How far out was that? Where's observatory? There we go. 6CA. That would be you. Here we go. Right, nothing really exobio, huh? Didn't really, yeah, nothing with life. Nothing super interesting that way. All right, let's get out here. Super cruise. Yeah, we'll skip you know, planet landing and stuff. But yeah, here we are. Here's the edge of the galaxy, I guess. I don't think there was really anywhere else I could jump to that was in range, huh? We are out there. Yeah, 119, 177. They're just, oh, that's so close. If I did not have my SRV bay on, I could probably make that. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, that is frustrating. I guess I could maybe get some jumponium, but then I gotta actually get back. I've only got enough jumponium for like maybe half a jump. Ooh. Oh, it's having me go around. Oh, it's having me go around there. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing. And maybe I can use that as a launch pad for some of these others. Can I even get to Usk-Ok out there? I guess we'll find out. All right. But first things first, give me a moment. I will leave you with the chill tunes of White Bat Audio. Thank you once again for providing free, license-free music for us streamers out here. It is much appreciated. But yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna go and make more coffee. So I will be right back. All right, we're back. I was just thinking, maybe I don't even need to do this jump. Maybe if, let's see, maybe if I burn some fuel. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like, maybe that'll be an option if I can burn a little bit of fuel. Just go into SEO for a while and see if I can eke out just a little bit of that jump range. Let's see. Like, I don't need much. I really don't. Here we go. Let's see how much this is going to affect it. Because as you get lower in your fuel tank, you get lighter. And yeah, that's usually what that unladen means, right? I think, if I remember correctly. So let's see if I can eke out just like a little bit, just a couple light years of extra range here. Just by burning my fuel. Good old SEO. This has been one of the best. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, buddy. Now let's take a look. Can I do it? Am I gonna be in range to jump out there? Ooh, that's so close. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Not quite a direct jump. Let's see. But see, the issue with this is I'm also going to have to manage the fuel tank with each and every jump. That's the tricky part. That's where they get you. Look at that. Yeah, see, the unladen jump range went down a bit. All right. How am I in a gravity well in the middle of space? What's going on? That's okay. Like, see, here's where we're gonna have some issues. Yeah, I might have to burn some fuel every system. Like, I gotta be careful about scooping. I've got to like maintain it right where we're at. I mean, worst comes to worst, I just move my fleet carrier over here. I think I can get over here in 10 jumps. I filled it up a little bit before I started coming out this way. I don't want to fuel it too much. Not too much there. But a little bit. Make sure that I'm not gonna completely run out of gas. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to take care of all of the gas in this thing. Mandy is so fuel efficient, it's great. Hmm. All right. Get out here as far as we can, and then see if I can make my way back. It's gonna be rough. Like it kind of hits you, doesn't it? Like once you're at the edge, you're at the edge. Like it's basically pretty decent stellar density, and then nothing. Then you're on your own. It just stops. It really does. And I'm not gonna fuel up too much. Not too much. Just a little bit there. There we go. I have to manage it as best as I can and hope for the best. It's weird that it was able to reroute me that time though. I wonder why it wasn't rerouting me earlier. How many jumps was that? Are we 2 away? I think we're, well, 1 away now. It should be the next jump. The thing is, like, it might go out a little bit further if I was closer to the plane as well. Oh, twin stars. Okay. That's cool. Anything good? Useless. You're useless, all of you. Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. Now I'm confused about how it was trying to route me earlier, because it doesn't seem like that was much of a problem at all. All right, we just gotta be careful. Maybe it's because I routed once we got to the actual edge. Maybe that's why. It just couldn't figure it out with long routes, because it's trying to take my fuel into account with a lot of that. Okay. Let's scoop just a little bit. Make sure that I can get back. But I also want to keep it a little bit lower in case there's anything else out here that I need a little bit less fuel for. A little bit lighter tank. Here we go. And it is black. Huh. Wow. There really nothing out here. I mean, look at that. Like, there's no stars on the horizon at all. I got like 1 over there that I might be able to jump to. Take a look. Let's see if I can get to it. It's probably that one, I would guess. It's a little bit further out. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, anything else out here, I think you kind of need a fleet carrier for. I'm not hauling my carrier out that far. Really no reason for that. We'll take a look up and down. We'll see if there's anything up further or down further. Yeah, it's kind of a small range at this point. I don't exactly have a lot of options. Although, I mean, with 90 light years, I mean, you can go further on that map than you think when you're zoomed in that close. Ugh. Anything good? Nothing. Nothing at all. High value body. Yeah, it's just a terraformable metal rich. That's what, 1 million? 1.5 million? Not worth it. Not to me. I mean, I know they add up. If I found a system that had like 30 of these things, it'd be a different story. All right, I'm not gonna scoop this time. We're gonna keep it a little low. Keep the weight down. Okay, there we go. That should be far enough to get a decent angle here. Yeah. Maybe? Okay. Where did it go? It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those. It's like off on an eccentric orbit somewhere. There we go. Look at that. There's a few that I searched and searched and could not find anything. Like, at all. We turn around and look. Yep, it's dark. It's a little dark. We out there. You can see two in the distance. Head to the void. Get as far out here as I can. There. I can faintly see. I don't know if you can see them on screen. I can very, very faintly see just like a couple of specks. You got one right there. You got like some twins a little bit further out. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is the furthest that I can reach with my current capabilities. Can I do it? Ah, yeah, that's just a little bit outside the range. There you have it. Edge of the galaxy. For me, anyways. For you guys with like tin cans, you know, you just low rate everything. No SRV, no nothing. You could probably get a little bit more out of it. Oh. Oh. Oh, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing this. Oh, we got a little bit more out here. Okay. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're gonna keep going as long as it lets me. As long as that last star is scoopable, I should be okay. God, I'm gonna have to manually plot making my way back. Just follow the line backwards. That's gonna be real annoying. I hate manually plotting. That's too much effort for me. I'm too lazy for that. Maybe one of these will have something interesting. Probably not. I think it's more just the feeling that you got out to the edge, right? More than fighting anything. I'm not really expecting a green gas giant or something like that this far out. It'd be nice. It'd be kind of cool. It'd be a nice little capstone. But I don't think they're like purposely putting anything interesting at the edge. Like, you got to the edge. That itself is the achievement, right? I doubt I'll be able to cross the arm. I don't think you can. Like, there's a couple here on Ed Astro. Once you get out there far enough, there's literally no sectors. There's no names or anything. They probably didn't even generate it. All right, give me something to look at. I want to see from the galaxy's edge. Not to be confused with the theme park. All right, okay now. I see you. Anything good? No. Not even any NSPs this far out. I think this is the last jump. Yeah. And we'll take another look and see if we can go even further out. I feel like I'm making a really big mistake doing this. I feel like this might be trouble. I am genuinely surprised that most of this has not been discovered yet, though. Like, there's literally like one route here. I think maybe it's just the benefit of having the Mandalay. Probably couldn't get back out here when it was still the old Jumpaconda. It could get up there, but I mean you're still a little limited. All right, same thing. We're gonna get out here a ways. It'll make scanning a little bit easier too. I'm trying to like, I don't think there's going to be anything interesting in terms of the planets and all that, but I mean, we're out here. We owe it to the farthest reaches to at least complete the scan of the system. Get it on the old get it on the map, right? What? There we go. There we go. Hiding from me. Yeah, it's all metal rich and stuff. There we go. Maybe one or two of these will have like some plants or something. That's really about it. I don't expect much. If you have no expectations, you can't be hurt. It's a good way to go through life. A lot of them though. Fast orbit, how fast? 6.9 hours. Nice. Nice. First time I've seen that. Okay. All right, so here you go. Here's what the old map looks like. Kind of an interesting one though. Hey, there actually is some life. Wow. There's like life. Let's go check it out. I could stand to do a little exo bio. I could handle the money. Maybe get a nice screenshot while we're here. Nope, there we go. It's far enough out, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Go. Thankfully this thing stops on a dime, so that's nice. Yeah, let's go give it a look. What kind of planet was it? Take a look. Rocky world, so probably nothing super great. Maybe probably like some fungoidia or something like that that's really annoying because it's in a bunch of hills, but you know, we might as well give it a look. Scan it. Ugh. Like I said, I could stand to shore up the funds a little bit. I spent a lot more than I thought I meant to with that last Tridine fill up. I guess that's what happens when you set a buy order for like 80,000 a piece. So yeah, you know, congrats to everyone that I paid. I hope your own fleet carrier is coming along nicely. Yeah, with colonization and stuff, I guess it's not a bad thing to try and get this up and running. It doesn't sound like it's going to be all that bad money-wise, but the materials are going to be rough. You know, if you've ever done like a reactivation of a system after Thargoid attacks, it's hard. You got like 6,000 of like one commodity and like 12,000 of another. It's like we need all of these HE suits and ergonomic treatments and all of this. It can get rough, and I'm guessing that's going to be very similar for how much it is to try and actually build up a system. But you know, we won't know until we get in there and see. We don't know if that's just going to be, you know, for a system completely, and then you can kind of build whatever you want, or if it's going to be, you know, you have to start bringing in commodities and that kind of thing for every little settlement you want to put down there. There's a lot of unknowns, right? I imagine it's just to complete the system, and then you can kind of put whatever you want down there as the architect. But who knows? It could be an expansive thing where every time you want to upgrade the system, it needs more materials and commodities. We just won't know until they show it off, right? Boom, boom. All right. Anything interesting? Anything good? Come on. That is the downside with the expanded ESS, is it's like done before you're even like near it. Okay. Oh God. This is probably, I would guess, Stratum Pallius, which is not really worth anything. I'm not super concerned with the Osseum. The Osseum looks the coolest by far, but it is also easily the most annoying to try and get. It has something like a colony range of like 800 meters, and it only appears on ridges. So it's just like you're crossing half the planet trying to find the next colony. I really hate Osseus. Probably more than any other plant in the game. Other than Bacterium, because everyone hates Bacterium. All right, we'll land here. This looks like a nice, smooth place. Lots of ridges nearby, so if there is some osseous, that we might be able to see it. Basically get like one colony per mountain when it comes to that. But we might as well take a look. Might as well get down here and see what's available. Where's the sun? We got that dwarf star with the big rings nearby. I was hoping maybe get like a nice screenshot of that or something. Yeah, we'll aim for that little corner there. That might help out. Everything else looks flat enough that it shouldn't be a problem. Whee! Alright, what kind of... Oh god, this is gonna be awful. Yeah, I'm not searching for osseous on this. Like, it's all smooth. Smooth brain planet. No wrinkles at all. Like my VTubing career, just as a giant block of dust. Whoa, don't go too far in. We'll go back. It is still a little uneven. Yeah, let's get over here where it's a little smoother. There we go. Much better. All right, do your thing. My squadron is planning a trip out to Colonia. And we have quite a few like newer players that have never been out there, so it should be interesting. There's a couple like 45G planets out that way. I think they might be trying to land on it at some point. I told them about, you know, the World of Death and Odin's Treasure and, you know, some of the sightseeing things they should go take a look at. That's fine. That's what the shield is there for. It's cool, don't worry about it. All right, so it's like kind of pocky marked, isn't it? There's not really a whole lot of places here to land. There we go. There we go. It can do it. I believe in you, Mandy. Yeah, those are almost definitely just Pallius. Nothing super exciting, but you know, it's an extra couple million in the bank. Why not? Might as well since we're here. Like at this point, it's mostly just like trying to find different colors. There are apparently like a few colors of some of these that have not been found before, so you never know. Whoa, okay. That's why I couldn't land. That checks out. Well, at least I'm not gonna have any trouble finding it around here. That's cool. All right, round one. Here we go. But this is really the only thing in sight. I thought maybe we'd find some tussock or something like that. Oh, look at that. We do have a couple other things here. I haven't really scanned the little bubbles in a while. Can't remember. That's not concha, I don't think. I think it's a type of fungoidea. We'll see. Yeah, at least we know it's nearby. We'll just roam around a bit. I don't think it has a super long colony distance. Wow, there's like no gravity on this planet. Jesus. Okay. Okay, come on. The new observatory update does give you the distance from your last scan. It's been absolutely game-changing. So, you know, thank you to the devs. You annoy me a bit because I know the guy that made the botanist one is another explorer, and he took a lot of HMAS systems that I was trying to find out there in Odin's Hold. But ultimately, you know, it was for a good cause. So thank you to the devs for creating these add-ons that help us out quite a bit. And yeah, if you don't have a lead observatory and you are interested in doing some exploration out here in the black, highly recommended. Gives you a nice little pop-up in the corner so you know exactly when you're finding something new. Very, very good. And yeah, this new update is fantastic. I'm kind of surprised it took this long. Maybe they just, like, because the game wasn't as active until the past year, maybe they just kind of stopped thinking about it for a while. Yeah, being able to actually read the distances it's kind of game changing in terms of add-ons. All right. I kind of want to make sure that my Mandy doesn't fly off somewhere. I don't know if it's going to really be all that easy to recall it. Like, it looked smooth on the surface, but yeah, these little dunes, they don't make it easy. Like, the Mandy's small enough that it can fit into places that the Annie probably couldn't. But honestly, the Annie would probably have an easier time here because the legs are so far spread out. It can find more points in between. Here we go. I'm not gonna worry about the bacterium. I know it would be nice to add, and I am right here next to the crater. If we're driving around and I see enough, you know, we might do it. We might give it a shot. But yeah, bacterium is just, it's so annoying. It's such a huge distance between it all. It's only around craters. So it's just genuinely not worth it. But while I'm driving around, I might as well give it a look just in case. Yeah, 500 meters. It's not as bad as some of the others that I've seen, but it's not great. That said, it's not always necessarily a bad thing to scan them. Like, I know everyone talks about stratum, but really every type of exobio that you can scan has one version that is worth a fair amount, usually between 12 to 16 million, which is not, I mean, it's not great, but it's also not something that you necessarily want to pass up if you're trying to make some money, right? So, you know, if you don't mind bringing up the old list, you can just check it on the wiki or whatever. You can make a fair amount off of some of the stuff that other people tend to skip. But yeah, I mean, look at this. I'm not seeing it anywhere. There's another patch, I guess. I'm guessing, is this the crater maybe? Or like on the rim right here? Yeah, it's not the distance that I thought. I thought it was 800. Yeah, the worst are the ones that are 1,000. Those can be rough. Usually when I find one of those, there's enough of them around. It's like Electray or something like that I think is 1,000. Usually you can find enough that you don't really have to like be searching. But like the osseous is rough because it only appears on like mountaintops. Yeah, if you end up landing in a plane somewhere that doesn't have a lot of mountain regions, you can be searching for a while. I searched half a planet once trying to find osseous discus. I'm never doing that again. It was one of those really annoying planets. It's like nothing but ridges, right? All right, there's got to be another bacterium around here somewhere. Come on. Just let me finish it up so I can go scan the little bubble thingies. Those are neat looking. There we go. Preferably within a distance that doesn't send my Mandy flying off. Please. There we go. Yay, we did it. Top success. All right, but yeah, you know, it's been a while since I've scanned the little bubbles, so we're gonna go do it. Do. Alcyonium. I don't know what that one is. I don't know if I've really found Alcyonium before. So I guess we'll find out. All right, and if I head back this way, yeah, we'll find plenty of these along the way, but I can't remember if they're like a Fungoidia type or what. I think they are. What are you? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you gotta let the animation play. I guess I boarded the SRV a little bit too soon. Ah, it's a Cactoidea. There we go, Cactoida. That's a little different than I thought. I'm used to the bigger guys. That's cool. I don't mind. I don't think they're worth anything. But hey, that means we finished scanning half the planet. I'll take that. I'm not gonna go through trying to find all of it. I'm sure there's like some concha just sitting in a very, very narrow band in a canyon somewhere. That's too much work. So I'm not gonna worry about that. I am gonna start worrying about how we're gonna get back. Here we go. And then I think there were some like right next to the ship, so that's nice and convenient. We are well on our way. And how far back was I? Hello, friend. We meet again. I love you. Yeah, I guess it is. Like, I was debating bringing the Annie out this way. Since it is, you know, my iconic ship. I think the one most people kind of know me for. And, you know, if you're going to go to the edge of the black and go as far as you can, it feels like the Annie should have been the one. But, yeah, the Mandy, just eking out that extra couple of jump range is too important. Now, if I end up finding a big gas giant or something like that, then yeah. The Annie's coming out. We're gonna haul the FC over to wherever it ends up being. But for now, this will be fine. Here we go. And it's got atmosphere too. It's a thin atmosphere. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Like I was hoping it might have been like completely black, so that we would be able to get like a really good screenshot from the surface of just staring up at nothing. But no luck. We got the thin atmosphere. Yeah, we got the Los Angeles smog in the sky. All right, so I got to pay attention now that they added. I don't know how long it's been there, but it has the little board ship thing down in the bottom right. So you can actually see when you're ready to board. I only noticed that the last planet that I landed on. I've been doing this long now. And only just now realized that was a thing. So I don't know if it's new. I don't know if it's new or if it's if it's always been there. But yeah, that's a nice little addition. All right, up we go. Whoa. All right, thank you, planet. I love you. Thank you for the money. Eventually, whenever I make it back to the bubble in another month. All right. Now then. Point myself as far at the black as I can go. Whee. There ain't nothing out here. There ain't nothing. Yeah, I don't think I can go any further. I said that before. But I think it might be true this time. Oh. I can go further. Let's do it. But this will probably be my last jump of the stream. I do have to make sure that I'm taking care of my voice. I got to get through a lot of customers today, and I can already feel my voice going. So, But I do want to try getting as far out as we can. Try and find the sites. See what's out there. Is anything out there? So far, no. I found some weird trees, and that's really about it. No big gas giant or anything like that. It'd be kind of wild to have like an Earth like this far out, though. An F-class system could be. 3 stars. It'll be a little spotty. Yeah. No luck. That's okay. How many we got? 14? Yeah, I can spend the time scanning that. That's not a problem. Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah, and a lot of those were asteroids. Nice. I like getting those out of the way. It has been really annoying with trying to scan some of this stuff, because I have noticed that a lot of these systems with a lot of gas giants and stuff that I want to scan, there are so many asteroid clusters, and it takes so long for it to pop up with those discoveries, like how it's popping up in the middle of the screen there. So it takes forever for me to actually like see what planet type I'm scanning in a lot of cases, or like seeing if a codex pops up or something. Yeah. Like, I don't need to know that I discovered like 7 different asteroid clusters. There's really no point to it, right? So I wish I could turn those off. I don't know if there's a way to turn that off in the settings. Probably not, but it would be nice. Okay. All right, can I go even further? Can I? Is it possible? Do I have a dream? I do not. I have no dreams. I am dream, but none myself. I have been yeeted to the far end. But yeah, I think that was a nice little journey. I think it was worth the trip. Yeah, that's technically a little bit further west. So yeah, this is as far as I can get. Look at that. Look at that. You still got another arm. It's not the furthest. I mean, if you want to go down to Tenebris, that is technically further out, by all means. But this is as far as I can get on this spiral. This is the edge of Dryman's Point. How far away am I? Can I even list? Can I even plot the route? Probably not. Wow, I can. Interesting. I would not have expected that. So I'm gonna start slowly making my way back to the fleet carrier. Probably not actually there. I'm just gonna use it to get back to humanity at a certain point. At least get back to where I'm not like in fear for my fuel every jump. But yeah. So there you have it, everybody. The edge of the Dryman's Point arm. We'll get a nice screen here. There we go. I don't want to. There we go. Let's get a nice screen. It's a nice little hello, everybody out there. You are watching. Thanks for sticking with me this early in the morning. I know it was kind of a weird stream, a little chill. But you know me, we're not the big, loud, scary type of streamer. We're just having fun. I'm gonna. There we go. I want to get back as far as I can. I don't know how far back it lets me. There we go. All right. That'll be a thumbnail at some point in the future. But that being said, like I said, thanks a ton everybody for stopping by and hanging out with me this weird hour of the day. I hope you had some fun. I hope if you're out here exploring as well, I hope you're finding some interesting sights and having a good time seeing the galaxy. That being said, I gotta work this afternoon, and then we will be back this week, business as usual, with some more Indiana Jones FF9 and a few other things along the way. And hopefully I can finish Indy before Final Fantasy Rebirth comes out, because that'll probably be a day one purchase for me. So yeah. But that being said, take care everybody. I hope you have a good start to your weekend. Sweet dreams and bye-bye.